What's up everyone, my name's Alpha and today we're back with another Pokemon challenge video. Today we're on Pokemon Sun and today's challenge be can I beat Pokemon Sun Hardcore Nuzlocke using only shiny starter Pokemon. There's actually a lot of starter Pokemon that you can acquire in Pokemon Sun and Moon. Surprisingly, there's actually more starter Pokemon than regular Pokemon on my other challenge videos. Anyways, today's rules and theme will be starter Pokemon only. So the rules for this video will be I can only catch one Pokemon per route, which isn't too difficult, but they have to be a shiny Pokemon and they must be a starter Pokemon. Actually, thinking back to it, I think I kind of dropped the ball. I kind of missed out on a few starter Pokemon, but you know, traditional starter Pokemon, not Eevee, not Pikachu, they don't count. I'm talking about the three elemental forms, fire, water, and grass, obviously. So those are the traditional starter Pokemon. You know, I didn't add Eevee and Pikachu because I kind of forgot they were starter Pokemon, I'm not gonna lie. So that's kind of on me for dropping the ball, but just traditional ones. And as well, each of my Pokemon only has one life, so if they ever faint, they are dead. So all that time shiny hunting, waste of time if they ever died. And adding to that, we're gonna play on Alola, so there's no gyms, but there is gonna be a level cap. The level cap is gonna be based on each island's kahuna. Each island has one kahuna, the strongest trainer of the island, and the level cap is gonna be their maximum level. So that's how we're gonna determine the level cap. It's not gonna be by trial numbers because this is a waste of time. Adding to that, to make it even more difficult, there are no items inside of battle, so we can't use bag items. We can use hell items, that's pretty good, but we can't use bag items. And also you have to play on set mode, which I kind of forgot about for a little bit, but I didn't switch out my Pokemon. I just didn't switch to set mode, so I just had to manually press B. But besides that, there are going to be some fun rules, including each of my Pokemon will be nicknamed after you guys in the comments. So thanks so much for leaving a nickname in my previous challenge video. If you want to be nicknamed after a future Pokemon, just drop in the comments and hopefully I'll pick yours. And while they're down there, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. Let's get into the challenge video itself. So to begin off, there is a starter Pokemon in the game, surprisingly, but it's the longest way. I've actually never gotten a legitimate Sun and Moon starter Pokemon without speed up, without odds modifying. So I've actually have a lot of respect for people who've actually gone and shiny hunted for the starters in Sun and Moon. So this actually still took a long time with the speed up on my 3DS emulator. I mean, if Nintendo's watching it, 3DS capture card. So I eventually found a Poplio because Poplio is, I think, in my opinion, the strongest starter Pokemon. I like Litten the best. We want the absolute best opportunity to beat the game, and Poplio shiny isn't even that good. So I wish I got a Litten, but unfortunately we have to play optimally. So we have to get ourselves a Poplio, and then from there we can move out into Route 1, and we're gonna face off against our rival and Hala, all the tutorial stuff, until we get into Howley City, where we're gonna face off against Alima. Luckily Alima gets caught with Echo Voice because we have to stack the damage on it and then continuously attack her team, and she almost beats me with a Leafage Smeargle. Lucky enough, I'm able to survive it, beat down the Smeargle at least, and move on from Alima. That could have got dangerous. From there, we head into Route 2, and this is our opportunity to start shiny hunting for our next Pokemon. So we're gonna start scanning a bunch of. There is so many island scans. I am so sick of island scans, but we have to island scan so many times for our starter Pokemon. So we have to scan 10 times to get obviously 100 points on our island scan meter, and once we do that, we're able to start hunting for a specific Pokemon on specific days. I think Chikorita is only available on Fridays, so we have to go on Route 2 on Fridays only, which we obviously changed the time and date. So we're able to find ourselves Chikoritas in the wild at this point, and then shiny hunt. The good thing about this is if you don't find it within the hour, you're able to reset. From there, we could actually shiny hunt for Chikoritas, and you guys know me, I'm not a big fan of Chikoritas, but if it has to be on my team, I'll allow it. We're gonna find ourselves a Chikorita, and it's not really good for us because this thing has poison powder. It poisoned me immediately. Lucky enough, I actually found out it has Razor Leaf after I caught it, so it could have got really bad, could have got tragic. Thank God I got a paddock and caught myself a chicken. That's so stupid. Cut that out. But I'm able to get ourselves to Chikorita. Now we can move on into the first trial in the game. We have to face off against the Totem Gumshoes. We're to poison powder it, as in we missed it a few times, and Chikorita gets beat up a little bit. It gets a Pekka Berry. Pekka Berry, this is the only time I've seen Pekka Berries work correctly. So Gumshoes actually ate a Pekka Berry. It gets really annoying. Eventually, I gotta switch up to my Poplio, and that will finish the job for us. Not even, I lied. Okay, so eventually we'll knock out the Gumshoes with my Chikorita, and we're able to beat down the first trial in the game. That was a horrible first trial for me, but reinforcements are coming as we go into Route 3 on Mondays or Sundays, one of those days, I think Sundays, and we're able to get ourselves another island scan Pokemon, which is going to be a Cyndaquil in Route 3. So we're able to find ourselves a shiny Cyndaquil, which is very nice. Cyndaquil is my favorite Johto starter. Unfortunately, there's no flame on it, so this is like one of the worst sprites or 3D models of Cyndaquil. So unfortunately, catch yourself a Cynical, that's fine. And then we go into this hidden cave. It's called Seaward Cave, and we're able to shiny hunt for our next Pokemon in here, which is going to be a Totodile, only available on Mondays. I sound like a salesman. Only available on Mondays, but we have to get ourselves a Totodile. Totodile is actually surprisingly way easier to find in here than compared to all its other counterparts. So we're able to find ourselves a shiny Totodile, add it to our team real quick, and then from there we can face off against the first Kahuna in the game. We're going to face off against Hala. Hala's the fighting type Kahuna, and we're going to start the battle off against him using my Quilava. Now Quilava evolves from Cyndaquil at level 14, very early evolution. We're going to start the battle off against his Mankey using my Quilava, and we're able to beat it down pretty easily. We do have the Oran Berry on, and we're able to survive 2 Karate Chops, knock him out, and then his next Pokemon will be a Makuhita, which I know is going to go for a Fake Out as I switch out into my Chikorita. Now Chikorita is able to go for a Leech Seed, gets Sand Attack, but that's fine. I poisoned it. I'm not too sure if it guts or not, but I don't want to find out. It doesn't do too much damage anyways, as we're able to knock him out with my Popplio. And now, big brain play against the Crabrawler. I'm able to Baby Doll Eyes into the Crabrawler and lower his attack stat. And then from there, he's going to go for a Lair. I switch out into my tankier Chikorita, take the Z move, and I take it pretty well. And unfortunately, I do get a Leech Seed off against the Crabrawler, but it's going to start hitting me pretty hard with Power Punch, and it boosts its own attack stat. So I got to switch out to my Popplio, still boosting up the attack stat, but I can stall it out a little bit with Baby Doll Eyes. And from there, he's going to start using Lair, and it's going to get another Lair off and then Power Punch me, but I'm able to just confidently survive a hit and then knock out the Crabrawler. I was at basically full HP, unless a crit. If it crit, it would have killed everything anyways, but I'm able to at least knock out the Crabrawler and then evolve my Chikorita into a Bayleaf. And the level cap jumped, so we have to evolve all our starter Pokemon. So we get a Brioni and also a Crocodile, which looks very cool. I think it's my favorite second stage, or Bayleaf is my second favorite. But anyways, we're going to face off against Gladion and also get the Ice Fang move on our Crocodile, which is like my favorite move on Crocodile. Dragon Dance, Ice Fang. Actually, you normally get Ice Punch on it, but Ice Fang is like the go-to move nowadays. It doesn't get Ice Punch naturally, and there's no like move tutors like available for it. And Heart Gold and Soul Silver, it was super annoying to get Crocodile with an Ice Punch. It just had to deal with Ice Fang. So that's why Ice Fang Crocodile just brings back good memories. But anyways, from there we're going to face off against a Water Totem. We're going to face off against Wishy-Washy. And lucky enough, it used Soaked on me, so I'm a part Water type. And also I get Leech Seed on both the Wishy-Washy. Both Wishy-Washys actually. And also when I knock out this Wishy-Washy, I also get it on the Alomomola. But unfortunately, it's going to keep using Growl on me, so my Razor Leaf actually does 0 damage. So it's super annoying. I had to switch in between all my Pokemon, besides Quilava obviously. That's just a throw. But it was so annoying. Eventually, I'm able to knock out everyone. I'm able to beat down the Totem Wishy-Washy and also the Alomomola. And from there, we're able to beat down the Water Totem and also get a special move on my Bayleaf. So once we're done with that, we're also going to get the TM for Scald, put it on Brioni, and also put on the Mystic Water. So boost our Water type moves and also gets the strongest Water move, I think, in the game. That's not a Z move. So we're going to go into the Volcanic Peak and then face off against the Fire Trial. We have to face off a few Pokemons before the Totem. We had a bit of damage off against us, but that's fine as we face off against the Totem Salazzle. We're able to 2-shot into the Salazzle. Unfortunately, it goes for Torment, and that doesn't allow me to hit again. So unfortunately, I had to use Echo Voice and take a Venoshock, and I'm like, if it goes for Flame Burst and this Salandit goes for Venoshock, this might be tragic. But it's even worse, it goes for Toxic, and I'm thinking it doesn't matter, I'll kill the Salazzle, but if the Salandit goes for Venoshock, I might die here. Lucky enough for us, the Salandit goes for Taunt, and we survive. Luckily, so we gotta switch out our Brioni, and that could have been a big throw. But we're able to switch out into our Crocodile, knock out the Salandit, and we're able to beat down the Fire Totem. So from there, we can move on and face off against the Grass Totem, and this thing is not easier. All of these totems are not easy. We start the battle off against the Fire Totem using my Quilava. Now, Quilava is not the greatest Pokemon right now because it has whole Ember and Flame Charge, so we decided to use Smokescreen on the Lurantis twice, and that actually saves our entire run. So we're going to start using Smokescreen, allowing us to avoid like 3 Solar Blades. And also we do a lot of damage with Ember. We just don't want to stay in against the Trumpy because this thing is super annoying and never misses Supersonic. We go out to our Crocodile, which is crazy to use. However, Lurantis already uses Power Herb, so we're actually not too scared of it. If it does use a Solar Blade, we can switch out into our other Pokemon or pretty resistant against it. It misses another Solar Blade, so we go back into my Crocodile, and I'm like, I just keep using Synthesis. It's kind of annoying, so I have to gamble on the fact that it has to miss this, or I might just never break through. So we're going to take the Supersonic. We're able to dodge another Solar Blade, get an Ice Fang off against the Lurantis, and then it's gonna screech into me, which is super annoying, but hopefully I could break through this confusion and Ice Fang into Lurantis, which I do. Knock out the Lurantis, which is amazing. So we beat down the Grass Totem. We just have to switch into my Brioni to knock out the Trumbeak as we're able to beat down the Grass Totem, get through one of the hardest sections of the games. Now from there, we can go out into this area over here, this park area near the Pikachus, and get ourselves the Evilite, attach that to our Croconaw, and we're going to face off against the Island Kahuna. We're going to face off against Island Kahuna Olivia. Olivia's going to be the rock type Kahuna in the game. We're going to start the battle off against her using my Croconaw against her Nose Pass. Now this might not be the best play, but I didn't want my Brioni to get paralyzed with Thunder Wave, so I went out to my Croconaw, and Croconaw was able to do some nice chip damage with Metal Claw. 3-shot into the Nose Pass, and then do some chip against the Boulder. Unfortunately, I get paralyzed twice in a row, and then I can't do anything. So I gotta switch out my Croconaw against her into my Brioni, which is fine. I'm able to go for a Scald, knock out the Boulder. Her next Pokemon will be a Lycanroc, which I go for a Baby Doll Ice, and then from there it uses a Z move. I'm pretty sure I could tank this, as I do, and I switch out into my Bayleaf after this. I'm able to go for Elite Seed and then Magical Leaf, and you know, Bayleaf, one thing about Meganium and Bayleaf, it's very tanky and can take some hits, especially in the early parts of the game. Is a very good wall Pokemon. Later on, it's not that great, but early on, pretty good. We're able to beat down Olivia just through stalling, and we're able to get ourselves the second Grand Trial completed. From there, we're actually going to get taken on a trip all the way into Aether Foundation, where we face off against Nihilego. And our Croconaw evolves into Feraligatr at level 30, and unfortunately we almost lose our Feraligatr at that point too, because Nihilego starts doing too much damage. Lucky enough, we're able to beat him down, and now since the level cap jumps to level 39, we're able to evolve all our starter Pokemon, essentially evolve our Bayleaf into a Meganium, and now we can face up against the Electric Totem in the game. This is kind of a waste of a totem. I start using my Aquilava, it charges up. I'm kind of scared of the charge, kind of scared of the electric move it could use. I switch out to my Meganium, start using Leech Life, and then I go out into my Feraligatr, because Feraligatr has Rock Tomb and stuff. So I'm able to go, actually I don't even have Rock Tomb, I have Crunch. I thought Crunch would knock out the Vigavolt at this range. It doesn't, and I take a Spark. Lucky enough, it didn't charge up beforehand, and I'm able to survive it pretty well. I mean, unfortunately I get paralyzed, but I could just Leech Seed it and knock him out. And then the final Pokemon will be a Charge Bug, which my Brioni will take care of. Pretty forgettable trial, but after that we're at least able to evolve my Brioni into a Primarina, which is very nice. From there, we're going to face off against Guzma, which Rock Tomb Feraligatr just cleans up apparently. Just destroys Guzma's entire team. Now from there, we can move out and face off against the Ghost Totem in the game, and this Totem could have got very scary. So I have to battle off against him using my Feraligatr, which is actually the wrong play. I should have just used my Primarina to lower the attack stat of this thing, and it would have been super easy, as we're able to do some chip damage against the Mimikyu with Shadow Claw. But unfortunately, I have no more move. As I'm down to 5 HP against the Haunter and Mimikyu, I switch out to my Primarina. I get Play Rough and Nightshaded, so the next time it hits me, it's definitely gonna kill me. So this is not the best play. So I gotta switch out into my Meganium. Meganium's unable to take any damage as well. I'm like, I got to risk it. I gotta just hope the Haunter doesn't hit me. So I take a Play Rough, and then I knock out the Mimikyu. From there, the Haunter decides to use Hypnosis on this play, and I'm so thankful it did, because it would have actually knocked out my Meganium as I switch out into my Typhlosion, and it'll finish the job against the Haunter, or that would have been really bad. So we're able to beat down the Mimikyu Totem and move out into the second Guzma fight, which isn't too difficult. Primarina actually just skulled down Golisopod, which terrible Pokemon apparently. From there, we can face off against Nanu, the Island Kahuna of this island. He's a Dark-type Kahuna. He's going to start the battle off against us using a Sableye. I start the battle off against him using my Primarina, which will Moonblast into him after taking a Fake Out. I'm able to one-shot into the Sableye. Okay, I don't have Moonblast. I'm just lying. Scald into him, and then two-shot into him with Scald. I don't know why I started lying with Moonblast. I get Moonblast in a little bit. His second Pokemon will be a Krokorok, which I decided to go for a Scald. Taking an Earthquake, not too well, but I'm able to survive it, knock him out with a Scald, and then his next Pokemon will be a Persian, which I decided to go out into my Meganium. I take a Fake Out. I'm just trying to Leech Seed it so I get some HP recovery. I'm like, okay, I missed the first time, which is terrible. Then I go for a Synthesis against him, which I know I can survive a Dark Pulse. He goes for a Dark Pulse again, and the cringiest thing happened. He flinches and crits me in the same turn. I'm like, Meganium's gone now, so that's terrible. I go out to my Feraligatr. I'm like, hopefully I could do some chip damage, and my Typhlosion can survive a Power Gem. I Ice Fang into him, does no damage, and then Dark Pulse almost knocks me out. So I go out to my Typhlosion. Typhlosion takes Power Gem the first time, and I decide to opt to use Smokescreen against him. Switch out to my Primarina, hope it actually misses, and it does. I'm able to dodge a Power Gem, and then go for a Scald against him, as I am able to take a Power Gem from the Persian. Scald at torrent range, and I'm able to knock out the Persian with a very lucky Hail Mary play. with the smoke screen. So yeah, it actually works out pretty well. Smoke screen is really the MVP of Typhlosion's arsenal at this point. From there, we're gonna be transported into the Aether Foundation, where we're able to just beat down the grunts in here and also beat down the green hair guy. I actually forgot his name. Does he even have green hair? He just has glasses. I forgot if he has green hair or not. Typhlosion finally has a move that actually hurts people, so we're able to lava him into Guzma multiple times, beat him down pretty easily, and we can move on and face off against Lucamine. And Lucamine gave me a little trouble, so we had to come up with a strategy later on. But for this fight, we have to take care of Lucamine, but later on it's going to be a little difficult. From there, we actually get moved into the Pony Wilds on Pony Island, so we can start shiny hunting for our next Pokemon, which is going to be a Samurott on the Pony Wilds on Friday, I believe. So we have to shiny hunt for our next Pokemon, which is very cool. We find ourselves a shiny Samurott. We could get Samurott, Emboar, and also Superior if you guys see the pattern. Unfortunately, we're not going to get Superior in this run. I mean, which is alright at the time, but I kind of wish I got Superior later on, and you'll see why. Find myself a shiny Samurott and catch it, add it to my team. And then from there, we're going to head into the Ancient Pony Path. We're able to shiny hunt for an Emboar in here, which, you know what? I really thought it was going to be a lot better, but it wasn't. I wish I had forethought and really thought about this Emboar choice, because I could have got Emboar or Superior to round up my team. Superior would have been a better choice. It would have been the superior choice. But unfortunately, I get myself a shiny Emboar, which I catch, add it to my team. And then from there, we're going to face off against Hapu, which really, this fight didn't make any sense. So we're going to start the battle off against Hapu using my Feraligatr against her Duck Trio. I'm able to go for a Swords Dance against her Duck Trio and then waste some more turns, go for a second one. She's going to Earthquake into me, and I'm like, okay, I could take another one. And then she's going to Earthquake into me. 17 HP, I go for Bodos to knock out the Duck Trio. I'm at 7 HP, and then it goes out to her Mudsdale, and I'm like, what am I doing? I have so many other options. I go out to my Meganium first. It's going to double into her Flygon. I'm like, okay, this thing's going to use a Dragon move. So I'm going to go out into my Primarina, which is Fairy type. I take, obviously, the Dragon move. I absorb it and then go for a Moonblast. I take the Earth Power, knock out the Flygon in one shot. And then her next Pokemon will be a Mudsdale, which obviously I'm just going to go for a Scald. One-shot it easily. And then the final Pokemon will be a Gastrodon, which I two-shot into it. And she misses 2 Mud Bombs. So we're able to beat down Hapu pretty easily. I'm not too sure what I was doing with the Feraligatr, but it was not pushing. So we're able to go out, finish the final Grand Trial in the game, move out and face off against the final Totem in the game. We're going to face off against Totem Komo, which you guys could probably guess how this is going to go. I Moonblast and then knock out the Como. So from there, we can move out and face off against Lucamine after finishing that trial. We're going to start the battle off against Lucamine using my Typhlosion. Now, unfortunately, Typhlosion has to change his moveset to have Flame Charge on it because it's actually very slow, and the only setup move it has is Work Up, so we're gonna have to be very careful. Unfortunately, the first move the Clefable used was Metronome Head Smash, so half of my HP is gone, so that's very fun, but I gotta keep setting up. I'm just gonna hope it doesn't do a lot of damage. Luckily enough, it only gets Signal Beam and some fire moves in between, so we're actually able to get +5, I believe, or +6, I'm not too sure. And then from there, we're able to go for 1 Flame Charge, which is actually enough to outspeed everything. It goes for Metronome, gets Healing Wish, and knocks itself out, which is actually unoptimal for me. That's very bad for me, as it just Healing Wishes itself, so I don't get any more speed. Next Pokemon will be a Milotic. I have to land this Focus Blast. I missed one, and she missed the Hydro Pump, which is fine. I go for Focus Blast once again. I miss it. Lucky enough, it only goes for Safeguard, and I'm like, okay, no way it misses 3 in a row. Lucky enough, it didn't, so we don't have to live in that reality. So we're able to knock out the Milotic, beat down the Milotic, and the battle should be free at this point, as we're unable to outspeed the Mismagius, but it goes for Pain Split, gain some HP back, Flamethrower to knock out the Mismagius. From there, I'm able to knock out the Beware and also the Lilligant, and things are pretty easy for us, as we beat down Lucamine, get very lucky with the Hydro Pump miss, but very unlucky with the Focus Blast miss. And from there, we're able to beat down Gladion, which isn't too difficult. We also beat down Howl, and we're going to move out into the Elite Four themselves. So our final team, obviously on screen, got a Superior, but I really wish I went back and did that. But anyways, we're going to face off against the first Elite Four member in the game. We're going to face off against Hala. Hala's the fighting type Elite Four member in the game. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Typhlosion. Now, Typhlosion, not the greatest Pokemon to use. I'm looking for a burn, don't get it. I get hit with a knockoff. I'm like, okay, time to switch off. I switch out into my Meganium. It doubles into the Poliwrath for some reason. I'm like, this works for me. And then I saw the damage up magically. I'm like, this does not work for me. I'm like, I gotta start stalling this thing. I miss a Leech Seed. This thing cannot see. Meganium gotta get glasses or something, but I'm able to synthesis into the Poliwrath as it misses a submission, and finally land a Leech Seed onto it, and eventually I'm able to stall it out, eventually knock out the Poliwrath for us. That's a nice threat to leave. And then his next Pokemon will be a Crabominable, which I only have one switch in. I switch out to my Primarina. I take an Ice Hammer, I take a ice. I don't take it well, but I take an ice hammer. Moonblast to knock out the Crabominable. As his next Pokemon will be his Hariyama, which I'm like, I gotta switch out to my Meganium. Take a fake out. I'm like, I could synthesis up. I outspeed. Synthesis up. It's gonna close combat into me. I'm like, okay, this is not working out. So I'm just gonna go for Magical Leaf. It goes for close combat. Almost knocks me out. I'm like, this is really not working out. I don't want to lose this thing. This thing could be useful later on. I go out to my Feraligatr, take a close combat. Hopefully Aqua Tail kills. And it does kill because of all the minus defenses. Knocks out the Hariyama. And then his next Pokemon will be a Primeape, which I decided to go out into my other Pokemon, which is going to be Samurott. Samurott takes a close combat, and then Aqua Tail into Aqua Jet would knock him out. But unfortunately, he heals up, so now it's getting a little dicey. Luckily enough, I survived another Cross Chop, activate my Berry, Aqua Tail to knock out the Primeape, and then his next Pokemon will be a Bewear, which I can switch into my Primarina, which has basically half HP. I dodged the Hammer Arm, which works. I'm able to Moonblast into the Bewear, one-shot it, as we're to beat down Hala, and we're actually able to avoid a death, surprisingly. I was very surprised. I thought someone's gonna go down. That's my Feraligatr, I'm not gonna lie. But from there, we can move out into the second Elite Four member in the game. We're able to face off against Olivia next. Olivia's gonna be the Rock-type Elite Four member, and it's gonna start the battle off against us using a Relicanth. I have a Meganium in the bag. I'm able to go for a Meganium, and I'm able to go for a Magical Leaf. One shot into the Relicanth easily. Her next Pokemon will be a Golem. We're going for Leech Seeds. Take a Steamroller, really. I could actually stall this thing out. I have enough PP to stall it out, but I decided to go out to my Samurott. Samurott was able to get Aqua Tail on it, but unfortunately gets Thunder Punch in his face and paralyzed, and I'm like, of course you do. I'm like, you know what, just hopefully stay in, survive it. Second Aqua Tail does not do as enough damage as I thought. You know what, I'm just gonna bin it. I'm just gonna switch out. I decided to switch out into my Meganium, take a Thunder Punch, and I'm like, well, I mean, I definitely took it. So I'm able to go for a Magical Leaf and knock out the Golem. Her next Pokemon will be a Lycanroc, which I gotta go for a Magical Leaf. It's gonna go for a Stone Edge, and then I gotta switch out to something else. I decided to switch out into my Emboar, which takes a Stone Edge, and I'm like, hopefully it doesn't go for a Z move. Can't keep switching around. It's gonna pop a Z move eventually. I just needed to sack something if it does, and it does. Unfortunately, Continental Crush into my Emboar, knocks him out, and I'm like, it just had to be them. I go out into my Feraligatr, which I don't know why I decided to go for a Swords Dance, but it works out. Aqua Tail to knock out the Lycanroc, and then her next Pokemon will be a Carping. I one-shot it with a crit Aqua Tail, and then her final Pokemon will be a Probopass, which I'm able to just beat down pretty easily. It misses Thunder Wave, which, lucky enough for us, we're able to beat down a Probopass without too much issue, as we're able to beat down Olivia. Unfortunately, lose our Emboar, and you can see why I wish I had anything else besides the Emboar. From there, we can move on and face off against Accelera. Accelera is going to be the Ghost-type Elite Four member in the game. We're able to start the battle off against her using my Feraligatr. We're able to go for a Swords Dance in front of the Sableye, which is very ballsy. But I decided to go for a Swords Dance, hit myself in confusion. That's what I deserve. And I'm like, hopefully I don't hit myself again. And I snap out of confusion. Aqua Tail to knock out the Sableye at least. And from there, she can switch out into her Delmise, which I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm +2. I'm pretty sure Crunch will kill. I'm like, hopefully, and I lives with 1 HP, and of course knocks me out with an Energy Ball. And I'm like, I'm terrible. I should just, well, I don't know why I agreed for it. I was feeling the full sweep because I had a Swords Dance up, but unfortunately, it lives with 1 HP. Go out into my Typhlosion. Typhlosion is able to go for a Flamethrower against him. Should have gone for a Flame Charge. I got the boost, but unfortunately, I mean, obviously the Power Sense can come out next. I'm just going for Flamethrower. I'm pretty sure I can survive an Earth Power. It only has the Ghost Z move, and decides to use Iron Defense out of everything. So I'm like, what? Okay, Flamethrower to knock him out. And their next Pokemon will be a Frostlass, which you know how this would go. I'm able to go for a Flamethrower, one-shot it, and then her final Pokemon will be a Drifblim, which I go for a Flamethrower, burns it, but it has amnesia and then starts stalling me out a little bit. I eventually went out into my Samurott, I believe. I go out to my Samurott, and I'm able to go for a Swords Dance in front of him, and then eventually knock him out with an Aqua Tail, which works pretty well. As we're able to beat down the Drifblim and also Accelera, but lose another Pokemon, so 2 Pokemon down. Lucky enough for us, the final Elite Four member we have to face off against is going to be Kahili, and she's a very easy member that we just have to start the battle off against with our Sweeper. Our Sweeper in this case is Typhlosion with Work Up. So yeah, we have to slowly set up with Work Up and then hit down the Skarmory with a Flame Charge. Eventually we're able to get enough speed to knock out the Skarmory. I don't know why, but I really let the Skarmory hit me down to low HP for no reason. So I could have really just not done this. So Flame Charge to knock out the Skarmory. Her next Pokemon will be a Mandibuzz, which you go for a Flamethrower and knock out in one shot. Her next Pokemon after that will be a Toucannon, which I go for a Flamethrower and knock out as well. Her next Pokemon after that will be an Oricorio, which I decided, you know what, this is pretty easy. Flamethrower, not very effective, right? And still knocks him out. And her final Pokemon will be a Crobat. I still outspeed it, and Flamethrower to knock out, and we're able to beat down Kahili in very quick fashion. From there, teleporter to the champion fight is open, and I'm like, I'm not too thrilled about this fight. So we're gonna start the battle off against Professor Kukui, the champion in the game. We're gonna start the battle off against him using my Samurott. I thought I could get some setup going, so I'm able to start off with my Samurott against him. I know he has Magnet Zone that's gonna come out right after this, so I'm gonna Sword Stance up and then Aqua Jet to knock the Lycanroc, not take any Stone Edge damage, which is very nice. His next Pokemon will be obviously the Magnet Zone. I add the berry, Lumberry, by Samurott because I know I can survive one Thunderbolt, which is very nice. I just don't want to get Thunder Wave or Paralyzed. It lands the Thunder Wave, but I do have a Lumberry. I break out of it, and then from there I can outspeed Aqua Tail to knock at the Magnet Zone. So 2 big threats are down. From there, he's going to switch out into Decidueye, and I'm like, don't have a plan for this one. I decided to go out to my Meganium because I know it's going to use Bloom Doom. So it's going to Z-move Bloom Doom into me. I take the Bloom Doom, but don't take it too well, and it's going to knock me out with any move. I know I could use this Meganium to stall out the Snorlax later on, so I'm going to keep it. I go out to my Primarina, and I'm like, ooh, it had to crit. I don't know why Brave Bird had to crit. I go for Baby Doll Eyes. At least I'm able to do something with my Primarina against the Decidueye. From there, I switch out into my Typhlosion, which takes rock damage, super annoying. Flamethrower to outspeed him and knock him out at least. So from there, he's going to switch out into his Snorlax, and I'm like, I have to do something here. I know Samurai is my last choice because I'm able to just stall out everything else and get some Sword Stance later on. So hopefully I can get a burn here. I do finally get the burn that I've been looking for the entire game, but from there, I don't want to sack my Typhlosion because it could be useful later. I go out to my Samurott. Samurott's able to get a few Sword Stance up, but unfortunately, I get paralyzed with Body Slam, and the worst luck will ensue later on. I'm going to get 3 Sword Stance or 2 Sword Stance. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I only got 2 Sword Stance and then start missing all my moves because unfortunately, I got all the paralyzed luck happen to me. It's just so annoying. I don't have any berries left. I only put the Lumberry on. So unfortunately, I'm very glued onto this. Lucky enough, I get a Aqua Jet off. I'm able to Aqua Jet into the Snorlax, knock out the Snorlax. His next Pokemon will be a Braviary, which I'm able to Aqua Jet. I'm unable to knock him out though, as he knocks me out with a Brave Bird. I'm like, this is not looking good. Lucky enough, Typhlosion comes out, and I'm able to Flame Charge into him. I'm in Blaze range, get the speed up, and then outspeed his final Pokemon, his Ninetales, through that. And Flamethrowers to knock out the Ninetales. I'm like, oh my god. If Typhlosion didn't get the burn, I don't know how I would have knocked him out. I think Typhlosion would have went down, and unfortunately, I think I might have lost the fight. Maybe not. I honestly could have stalled out the Snorlax using my Meganium, and then possibly go for Sword Stance against the Braviary with my Samurott and sacking my Meganium, and then hopefully Aqua Jet in Torrent range was able to knock out the Ninetales and Braviary. So that was my plan after that, but luckily enough, I got the burn on it, and it actually saved the run. But those paralyzes in between would have been really bad. That could have been really bad for me, but we're able to save it. We're able to save our run, and we're able to complete Pokemon Sun Hardcore Nuzlocke using only starter Pokemon. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you guys can, please leave some love on it. Leave a like, comment down below, some nickname ideas, and I don't know, anything you want. Anyways, my name has been Alpha, and I hope you guys all had a great day, and I'm out. Peace.